You may be a bit worried about what you've seen in the news. There's a lot happening right now: attacks on our rights, layoffs to our federal workforce, and increasing interference from Congress and the Trump administration. Every day, it feels like there's another attempt to undermine our democracy and take away our control over our own lives. But this is not the time to panic. This is the time to educate ourselves and be strategic. People have been asking us about what the federal government is doing and what it means for DC. So let's set the record straight. First, executive orders do not override the United States Constitution, federal laws, or local law. No matter what Trump says, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and federal laws stay valid unless changed by Congress or found unconstitutional by the courts. DC's laws, set by the mayor and council, remain valid and enforceable unless Congress interferes. DC laws do not disappear just because the president signs an executive order. Our government still functions. Our legal protections still exist. Now, we know many people are concerned about home rule, so let's talk about what home rule really means. As we continue the fight for DC statehood, we are still governed under the DC Home Rule Act. Unlike in states, when the DC Council passes a permanent law and the mayor signs it, it doesn't take effect immediately. It must go through a congressional review process. During this time, Congress can either allow the law to stand or pass a resolution to overturn it. But even if they try to overturn it, the president has to sign off on that decision. If the president vetoes Congress's action, like President Biden did to uphold a police accountability law, then the law remains in place. Congress can also interfere in two other ways. First, by passing new laws that cancel out DC's existing laws, even though Congress already looked at them and decided they were fine. And two, by using the federal budget to impose restrictions on how DC can spend its own money. We've seen this before. Congress has used budget restrictions to block DC from funding reproductive health care with its own local tax dollars, even though states can make those decisions for themselves. And now we're seeing it again in the fight over DC's fiscal year 2025 budget. DC passed its 2025 budget on June 12th, 2024. Normally, Congress needs to approve it, and they did on September 18th, 2024. However, even though Congress passed a temporary budget, they created a $1 billion budget shortfall for DC. This was a major issue because they removed language that has protected DC's ability to govern itself for the past 20 years, especially when Congress disagrees over the budget. Now, we need our supporters more than ever to help stop attacks on DC. We must stay strong and united to keep DC running smoothly, funded by local revenue without outside interference. We'll likely have to go through this process again when Congress reviews and approves the next budget. So, what do we do next? Stay informed. DC laws still stand, no matter how much noise you hear from politicians trying to stir up fear. Follow the ACLU DC for updates. Share your story. Congress is counting on people outside of DC to not pay attention. Educate your friends and family about home rule, DC statehood, and how these actions impact real people. We have resources on our website to help you spread the word. And make it clear, DC belongs to the people who live here, not Congress, not outside politicians, not anyone who sees our home as a bargaining chip. We will fight for our district, our future, and our right to govern ourselves.